Hello everyone, this is BR Torolg. I'm doing another strategic commentary. Today we've got a game between my best friend Equilateral and a random ladder guy called Preddy. Today we're going to be showing you the basics of a voidray build. I've got Equilateral here casting with me, so Equilateral, tell us a little bit about voidray build.
Oh, hey everyone. I think the voidray build is a very solid PvT build, and I've been doing it in every one of my games. It's pretty good against the most builds that Terrans are using, though it's not that powerful if you know how to counter it, but most Terrans don't, so you pretty much get a lot of easy wins. On this map especially, it's really nice because most Terrans want to drop tanks on the reach that's next to your expansion, and you can stop it with voidrays. Voidrays also stop a variety of other strategies like fast banshees, the marauder rush, and expanding.
Okay, I'm going to pause the game just a little second here. We saw that Equilateral went 9 pylon. The general build order for the voidray is you get your pylon at 9, your gateway at 13, you get your gas, then your cyber core, then another gas, you chrono boost your first stalker, and then you get your stargate. Now we've got a little interesting thing here. You sent your probe directly to this Xel'Naga watchtower, then changed direction and went for the right base. Usually most people would scout down this direction because this is a close direction, so can you explain this a little bit to us, please?
Well, I did it because I want to be safe against Reapers. By scouting the Xel'Naga watchtower, I make sure that he doesn't have a proxy racks near my base, and then I continue to scout the base that's it's like not
it's closer for the Reapers in this direction,
yeah, it's closer, right? It's closer for the Reapers, because if he builds it on the reach, there's like a really short distance between the two bases where the Reapers can just jump in and get in your base.
Okay, so that's very important. Whenever you're playing against Terran, when you send an early scout, I usually scout on 9, it's important to note that, to realize what you're actually scouting for. So in this case you want to scout for cheese, so it's not that good scouting for cheese if you go in this direction, when in fact the cheese is most dangerous coming from this area here. Okay, tell us a little bit about probe harassing here, because you seem to be pretty good at this.
When you scout the Terran with your probe and you see what he's doing, for example you see the depot and the barracks here, instead of just running around with the probe, you can attack an SCV, and if it attacks back, just wait till the shields drop, then just run around with the probe, not taking any hits. The shields will regenerate really fast, and then you can attack the SCV again. So he has to back it off, or else it will die.
And you can see here we get a free SCV kill, which is quite nice. Okay, so if we go back to Equilateral base, he's gotten his gateway, he's gotten the second pylon here, over here, and he's getting his gas before cybernetics core. That's a little bit interesting, I think. Oh, and you make an extra pylon, I think you cancel that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this pylon placement over here. There are two important things you want to know about pylon placement in the early game. Firstly, if your opponent is going Reapers, it's very important to power all your buildings using a very small pylon field. So you want to have this pylon over here if your opponent's going Reapers. The reason why is because if you don't, his Reaper will come in your base, he'll have 30 seconds or so to sort of, avoid your, before you get a stalker out, and he can snipe the pylon. If he snipes the pylon, your buildings become unpowered and you lose the game. However, because you managed to scout Terran first, you know that he's not going Reapers, and so you can safely put the pylon over here at the edge of the base. And the reason why you do this is so that you have the opportunity to put stargates over here, or if you put a pylon over here, you have the opportunity to put stargates over here, and this will hide your tech from your opponent. And you can also see Equilateral save the chrono boost for a stalker, which is very important. You want to stop this scouting SCV as soon as possible, because if he sees this stargate, this is really bad. Also, another important note is, it's not just that, you want to deny scouting for the Protoss so that he has to waste a scan later, and a scan is about 300 minerals, which is, I think is 270 minerals, which is a big loss for the Terran. So, coronaring your Stalker out early is not, in fact, it's not actually economic wasting, it's good for you economically. So if we go back to the Terran base here, he's doing a very popular build. This build was invented on the Asian server. It involves going 1 Rax Marines, getting a factory, and getting a fast tank out. And then usually from here you get a starport, and you either get Ravens, Vikings, or Banshees, depending on what you think you need. And it's a very strong build order, it deflects most Protoss attacks, and if played correctly, it will deflect Void Rays. However, we see Preddy make some key mistakes here. So Equilateral, tell us a little bit about the building placement of the Terran and why you think this often ends up as a problem versus Void Rays.
The best building placement versus Void Rays is to just build depots near your main. In this case, he built 2 depots on the reach of his base, which are very easily killed by Void Rays, and he also made a wall. A wall can help you fend off early aggression, but against Void Rays, it can only help the Protoss, since he can attack it from the range of your base, and you can't just send your Marines down the ramp because he has Stalkers.
This is a very key note about Stalker and Void Ray micro. Void Rays on their own actually do get deflected by not a very large number of Marines. You only need maybe 4 Marines to deflect a Void Ray. However, if you bring your first 2 Stalkers with you, you can put them underneath the cliff and use the Void Ray to gain vision, and because of the StarCraft 2 cliff mechanics, you can actually snipe Marines that try and come close to kill your Void Ray. So whenever you first send your Void Ray to harass, always bring your Stalkers with you and just park them underneath the cliff whilst you're harassing with your Void Rays. If we go back to Equilateral space, we see that, if we pause for a second, we see that he's expanded, and usually expand just after making a second Void Ray. So he made a second Void Ray, puts an expansion down, and then you add gateways and get the very early warp gate. Can you tell us about like the warp gate timing as well? Because this is quite important.
I get it before my first Void Ray starts. It's like when I start my Stalker, my second Stalker, I think. I get it this early because I don't want to use any Chrono Boost on it. I want to save all my Chrono Boosts for the Void Rays and the Nexus when it completes.
Okay, we see here Preddy has gone the correct reaction. He's gotten the starport and he gets a Viking out. Actually, I think